for you, is it any consolation that viewers are kind of just as frustrated as you when it comes to Carson and Cynthia buying everything that Todrick and Miesha were kind of throwing at them?
Yeah, I mean, my mind, obviously in the house, and even now my mind is just like blown. I'm not really, sure what happened. I mean, they were so angry at one point, there was no talking to them. And I knew they were going to do that. I knew that's what Miesha and Todrick were going to try to do, because at that point we, I did the power move. I flipped the house. We had the power. And I even said to them, if they come to you, just come to me and talk to me, give me that. And they didn't. They just listened, and there was no, I couldn't sway their minds. And it was just very, very frustrating.
And, when it does come to you getting put up and, Todrick not taking Miesha down, was that a surprise to you? Or do you think it was just so she could make those comments and, kind of call you shady in her last moments?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was all calculated and planned, and it was so ridiculous. That's why I didn't even entertain it. Like, I was like, you're not even getting a comment from me. So, you're not even on like my radar there. Like, I knew I was going home. I just, I was more disappointed with Carson than anything. I mean, Todrick and Miesha were, always very honest about how mean and horrible they were in playing their game. Carson, I just was like, really? Like, you're not even going to allow me the opportunity to play a veto and save myself? You're just going to backdoor me? Like, no matter if I had an alliance, on day 2, I at least deserved, being able to play a veto.
Yeah. And, I think most of us watching understand that things are always moving. But when you're working with people who maybe aren't familiar with the game, which seems to be the case here, just how frustrating is that? And
it's so,
why,
I'm like, Carson,
why didn't they do more homework?
3 different alliances, you don't even know it. Like, I was like, you were in the formation, you were in Lions and Tigers and Bears, you were in another one with Teddy. I'm like, you literally have been in 3 alliances, but he was like, you were in the middle, and that's all that matters. And I was just like, okay, but I made the choice to push your game forward, but like, they couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't understand why they weren't like, what are you not getting that I'm like not getting? It was so crazy.
Is there anything looking back now that you think you could have done differently to convince them?
Yeah, I would have like Carson. I would not have taken Carson off the block. He would have went home. Cynthia probably would have went home. I still would have had my ride or die in the house. Yep. And, and I could have probably picked off Todd and Lamar, because they're not very good in competitions. Yeah. And, kept it moving and, made the best player win with Todrick and Miesha at the end. But yeah, I swung, I missed, yeah, but I tried. Yeah.
And, on the way
maybe
out,
going against an MMA fighter wasn't the best thing to do.
She's a tough competition.
Yeah.
But, when you were on your way out the door, you made your parting remark to Todrick. Yeah. And I know you talked to Julie, just saying, I can't tell everyone how to vote, but, are you going to still try and sway them? Have you talked to anyone? I guess what's the
I have talked to some people. He was clapping and cheering on my way out, which I thought was just in poor taste, but it is what it is. That's Todrick for you. But I don't think I really even need to sway the jury. I think the jury already kind of, feels the way that I feel.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we talked to Chris as well, Chris Kirkpatrick, and he said Todrick sometimes made things a little too personal. And I know Miesha is more playing game, where he's kind of taking it to a different level. Is that something you noticed as well with yourself? And do you think that is affecting his jury management?
Yeah, that was a huge factor, and that was a huge factor of why I didn't want to work with them. I didn't really respect the gameplay or the style or making things personal. I wanted to keep it about Big Brother. I wanted to keep it about what we were doing. But that was the most frustrating thing for me in the game, is that there are some people in the house that don't know the game and don't know what they're doing. And that was like, I constantly spent a lot of time explaining things to people, and I wish I hadn't done that. I should have just let them run into the walls.
And I mean, when it comes down to the end, you're kind of stuck between people who are playing the game maybe too hard versus those who aren't really playing it, don't really get it. How do you choose who to reward at the end of it all?
Yeah, I mean, when I was sort of in the middle there, that was the thing. There were just comments and things that were made, and almost to an extent of people being bullied a little bit, that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to take my chances over here. I just never, ever, I mean, I know they didn't really know the game, but I never thought that they would it's like, I'm showing you, I don't care what they're saying to you. They're going to say to you what they want you to hear and believe. Yeah. They're still the two people that have been putting you up on the block and gunning for you the entire time. I'm the one person that saved you both, so
yeah, what else can I show you?
Yeah, what else can I do, but they just, I'll never understand the logic behind it.
And now, in your confessionals, you did mention a couple times that you were nervous about seeing Lamar just because of the past comments, the donkey comments, but
sure,
did that ever come up with him directly? And did you maybe bond over being kind of Kardashian adjacent?
Yeah, no, I never mentioned the comment. It was not one of my proudest or finest moments. It's something I really would like to pretend never happened in my life. I talked about it on the show, however, but no, I didn't. But he definitely talked about, his love still for Khloe. And I thought that was, nice. Obviously, I mentioned, that my ex is obviously engaged. I don't think he knew that information. But otherwise, not too much into that family.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And, when you were talking to Julie at the end, you did, it was Valentine's Day. You said you were looking forward to being with your boyfriend. Is it weird to come out of the house and see all these headlines? Is it disorientating for you?
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen all the headlines or the social media. So I'm not 100% what's going on, but yes, he's the first person I got to see, and it was amazing. We're working on things and, just moving forward the best that we can. And it's just been so wonderful being home and just having the amenities of home and my animals and, just being able to, not share a bathroom with 10 other people.
I just think it's got to be so weird in general to come out and finally start catching up on even things that don't involve you, but just in general catching up on
it was weird just being in a car and seeing the sky. We didn't really get, I literally was, your background is I just lived in there, it was great with no vices whatsoever. And I didn't know how I was going to be able to handle it. I was like, I'm just going to try my best. And it definitely, it's, one thing about Big Brother that I don't think people know is it's very all consuming, emotionally, mentally, physically, it's like, you never think like it's so, it's so complex, but it really is.
And I'm curious, because we didn't see it when you were eliminated, but were there goodbye messages you got to see?
No, and I did not want to see them. That's the one thing I was like, please, Julie, do not play any goodbye messages for me. I was like, I'm good. I just would like to leave now. No one was talking to me at the end of that game. So it was super awkward for me to be in there. It was like, it was like torture. I was like, okay, can I just go home now?
And how do you think it will be when you go back for, the reunion, the finale, just seeing people again?
It's, it is a game. I mean, there are people I think that took it more, who took it to a personal level that I don't think it needed to be. I obviously don't have any like hate or animosity towards anybody. I get the game. I'm a good sport. I definitely think that I have, made some good friends in there with Teddy and Chris Kirkpatrick, and Chris Kattan was just the funniest. Like I was such a super fan of his. So, I think I definitely made some good friends and I took away such great memories, and I'm just, it's an opportunity I never thought I would get to do. So I'm just thankful for it and for CBS.
Do you think it's something you would want to do again, maybe with a group that has done their homework, that really gets
that would be very cool. I would definitely do it again. It was, who gets to do such a crazy fun show like this, and it has such an incredible audience and everyone's so passionate about it. If they ever did like an all-stars or something, I would so be down. That would be cool.
Awesome.
And to play with people who know how to play.
Right. Hopefully a little better for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you during the finale.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.